start on our mat, blanket, towel, or carpet rug. I'm going to push this down a little bit so you can see me better. Here we are, lying on our back. We're going to start with knees bent, feet grounded, and then taking a moment to align the knees and feet with hip bones in the front body, right? So generally a very narrow stance. And then take the arms, rest them at your sides, turn your palms to face up. Really allow the shoulders to roll open, and maybe even lightly pressing the backs of your shoulders into the floor to find that openness across your chest. Find some length here. So imagine there's a string at the crown of your head and it's pulling you to the back of your mat. So your chin lands only fist distance from chest. And then feeling your tailbone reaching to the front side. So really finding this elongation of the spine. And then close your eyes here. Okay. Allow yourself to go a little bit more inward. And once the eyes are closed, just take a deep breath in, fill all the way up. Open your mouth and just dump it side out. Do that a couple more times. Deep breath in, fill as much as you can. And then opening the mouth. Right, that audible release. When you do that, notice the body letting go even more. We'll do that one more time. Big breath in, fill from belly, ribs into chest. And then exhale. Let it all go. Start to then come into your breath here. Finding your inhales and your exhales, whether that be in and out through your nose or choosing to inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth. Right? Since this is a blended class, both options for breath is appropriate. So what feels best for you, right? But noticing how you're breathing at the moment. This connection to our breath, which we don't often focus on because we really don't need to. So this is our chance to do so. Right? That mindful breath. Feel it just flow in and out of your body. Maybe you start to find a rhythm to your breath, fluidity to your breath. Kind of smoothing it out, because sometimes our breath can be kind of short, shallow, and even choppy at times. Feel how your body is moving just due to the breath alone. Maybe you can feel the belly slightly rise and fall, or the chest rise and fall, or maybe the ribs kind of expand and contract. And that mindful breath to connect to ourselves, but also in that we can then, because we are aware of our breath now, we can change it. We can increase the depth and quality, which then can lead to a lot of benefits, both physically and mentally in ourselves. So slowing down the breath, really focus on taking longer, deeper inhales and very slow and steady exhales to ensure that every bit of that breath is being emptied out of the body, right? Clear it all out. Breathing in, start it low, deep in that belly, then let it fill into the ribs, then let it lift and fill into your chest. Maybe pause right there at the top, hold. Then slowly exhale and release from the chest, down through ribs, and that final squeeze out through lower belly. Take a deep breath in, open and expand yourself, filling front, sides, back body with air. Exhaling, then knitting your body back to its midline. Really start to push the air all the way out. Bring energy with that exhale. Breathe in, it's light, it's airy, everything fills and opens up. But then really start to audibly exhale with some force, some power. Feel that squeeze. So think of your torso like a sponge here. Breathing in, imagine there's water, right, filling into the sponge, so you're expanding and opening. Now imagine that sponge being squeezed out, all that water releasing as you breathe out. So there's this firming in, there's this engagement of your core muscles, your powerhouse, your center. And then just take the next few moments to stay here with that breath, that easy inhale, that really strong, powerful, energetic exhale. And then take that time as you breathe here as such to really build up the relationship between your breath and core, right? Breathing and core engagement are going to really work hand in hand here in this practice. So the stronger your exhales are, the more your core will naturally firm up for you. And that's what we're kind of looking for here, okay? Let's take 3 more cycles of breath and see if you can pull your abs in even deeper with every breath out that you take. Inhaling deeply, fully, and exhaling with that power. Draw navel down to spine. Couple more here. Inhale, fill it. Exhale, push it all out. Power, release. One last time here. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, that core tightens. You lift your feet off the ground, draw the knees to chest, wrap your arms around the legs, and then start movement here. Very slow and subtle. Just gently rock side to side. Move with the tempo of your breath, keeping its quality so that it doesn't get lost. Massaging into the back. Good. Then from side to side, start to create a circular motion with your legs. Let your hands guide this. So if your hands were clasped here, just release that. Really try to find the fullest range of motion here in those legs. Massaging more into your lower back region, the backs of the hips. And take a moment, pause where you are, and just reverse direction. Right? We generally tend to lean towards one way, right? We're dominant on how we move ourselves. So always finding a balance there. Good. And then go ahead and pause with legs still at center. We're going to keep the hands on the knees. We're now going to circle our legs, but in opposite directions. So again, using hands for guidance, you're now going to separate your legs, open them wide, and then sweep them down, bring them back together, and then knees pull back into chest again. So it's this opening up of the legs. Circle down, around, and back in again. We'll take a few more in this direction, just massaging in now to the hip flexors and the front body. Good. And then the next time the legs come back together, pause. We're just going to reverse that movement. So kind of push the legs down away from the body first, then open them wide, sweep them up and back together again. So pushing away first, opening up, sweeping up, pulling back in. We'll do 3 more here. Just nice, smooth circular motion. Again, finding your fullest range. So slow it down so we don't rush through. Let's go through 1 more. Pressing the legs away, then opening them up as much as they can, drawing the legs back together. Pause. Let's go ahead and release the feet back onto the floor. Let's go ahead, take the right leg now, cross it over the left leg. So no space between thighs as if you were sitting into a chair. From there, we're going to lift both knees back in towards chest and then holding your legs where you can with both hands. So whether that be feet if you can grab, if not the ankles, if not that the shins, if not even that, certainly fine, just below the knees. And then gently start to pull back on the legs. Root the tailbone down. We're stretching into that right outer hip. If you're wanting a little different sensation, you can even, by flexing the feet, begin to lift the feet upward a bit so the legs almost come more into a 90-degree angle. And that will certainly change the sensation to that stretch on the right side. And just take a moment to breathe here. Drop the shoulders down and broaden across the chest. Maybe movement if you like. Maybe you offer a little bit of rocking just to see if there's a change in that as well, which there will be for sure. Deep breaths in, strong breaths out. Good. And then if you were in movement, come back to still. Gently release that stretch, uncross the legs. We'll switch sides, left leg over right. Knees draw in, hold on to both legs where you can with your hands. Then gently pull back. Rooting the tailbone down. So sometimes when we pull back on the legs, our booty lifts off the ground. We want to press that down. Find your anchor. And then again, you can play around with the angle of the legs. You can bring them more to 90 by lifting your feet towards the ceiling a bit more. And then again, you could offer movement here, side to side if you like. And again, it's just to explore and experience different angles of the outer hip and the glute region. I know for me, I did a really big leg workout yesterday, so this is feeling all good but bad but good, right? A good bad, yeah. All right, and if you are in movement, come back into still at center. Let's release the stretch, uncross the legs. Let's take both feet back down to the floor. Again, aligning them with hip bones and front body. From there, we'll move into hamstrings. So let's take the right leg, extend it to the sky, grab behind the right leg with both hands, anchor down the tailbone again, press the leg into your hands. So you think about pushing the leg away from body. That will create a lot of length to the backside. Keep the energy pressing forward, and then use your hands to pull back on the leg. So again, always creating like a push-pull energy in your body. Left knee can stay bent, or you can extend leg long onto the floor. Option, not a requirement. Okay, holding the stretch here, breathing into the backside of your right leg. Soften in the shoulders, lengthen to the back of your neck. Holding the stretch, go ahead, flex your right foot, drive the heel, to the sky, stretching into that calf. Feel it? I feel it. Point the toes. You'll push it more to the front side of the shin there. And then we'll do that again, flexing of the foot. Good, and then pointing of the toes. Let's do that once more. Heel to sky, pause each time, right? You want to feel that stretch. And then point the toes. Let's draw circles now with that right foot just to warm into the ankle, but also while you're circling it around, you may feel that stretch to that whole kind of lower half of the leg from knee to ankle. Kind of little rolling around as your foot does, and reverse direction of that circle that you're creating with the foot. Good. All right, let's go ahead and just bring the foot into still. We're going to point the toes of that right foot now. So you can continue to keep your left leg extended if it were. You can continue to also keep your left knee bent as it were, or you can swap out depending upon. We're going to move into what's called climbing the tree. We're keeping that right leg elevated. This is going to be just a little bit of a core warm-up. We're going to take our hands now and slide them down really low to the base, right by our hip groin region on the right side. And then we want to think about using ab strength, not arm strength, to do the work here. So while the hands will be climbing up the leg, it's going to be very soft on the touch, right? As if you're barely holding on. So starting down low by your hip, take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, a 4 count to climb up that right leg as if it were a tree. 4, head and neck and shoulders come up. 3, 2, 1. Let's stay here lifted on an inhale. And then exhale, go ahead, climb back down that tree, so to speak, right? 4, 3, 2, 1. So our head is grounded back to the mat again, and then our hands are back by hip and groin. We'll do that a couple more times. Take a deep breath in, prepare your body. Exhale, pull the belly in deep and draw yourself up for 4 counts. 4, 3, barely touching that leg, right? Gentle touch, drop those shoulders. Take an inhale. Climb it back down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that once more. Inhaling, prepare, exhale, lifting with ab strength. 4, 3. Can you come up a little bit higher this time? 2, 1. Take a breath in, hold that lift. Climb back down. 4, good. 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and release that right foot back down to the mat with the knee bent. Okay, left leg now. Lift it to the sky. Hold on with both hands. Anchor down with your hips, your tailbone. Push leg into hands. Then finally bend the elbows, pull back using those hands. Again, push, pull energy. Right knee can stay bent, foot grounded, or again, option to extend your right leg out long, just as long as it doesn't compromise the form to your left leg, right? Keeping that left leg as long as you can. Breathe into the backside. Mainly just stretching into the hamstring here. But now then adding in the calf portion of this. So flexing of the foot, drive the heel up. Ooh, 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 mine are tight. And then point the toes. Again, flexing the foot, heel, drive it to sky, but hold it there. And then point the toes, not only getting into the front of the leg, but also the top of the foot. Let's do that once more. Heel to sky. Good. And then pointed toes. Let's go ahead and draw some circles now with that left foot. Again, take your time, find full range of motion. Then go ahead and reverse the direction. Deep breaths in, long breaths out. Good. Let's go ahead and then bring that foot into still, but keep the toes pointed. Slide the hands down low, low, low by groin and hip on that left side. Right leg, you can keep it as it is or readjust it to whichever form feels best for you. Climbing the tree, take a breath in. Core power, exhale, peel up, head, neck, and shoulders as you climb for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold that lift, breathe it in. Exhale, climb it back down for 4, 3, good. 2, back down to the floor. Let's do that twice more. Breath in. Exhale. So I'm not using my arms here, right? Even though they're moving, they're not doing a whole lot. Take a breath in. It's a gentle hold. Exhale, release. 4, 3, 2, 1. One last time. Breath in. Exhale, fire up that core. Lift it. 4, 3. So you're peeling up slow. 2, 1. Drop those shoulders down. And then with your next exhale, climbing back down for 4. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Draw both knees into the chest here. Give yourself a hug, maybe just some movement side to side. So a lot of the movements, a lot of the exercises, you're not necessarily needing the core per se. However, it's training ourselves to use our abdominals in places where we might not normally use them, but it's for support. All right. All right, let's come back into still. Knees are still into the chest. Arms now down at your sides if you'd like, or out to T if you want more stability. Take a breath in. Exhale, extend the legs out away from your body, as high as sky or as low as a hover as you'd like here. Draw the knees back in again on an inhale. So leg extensions. Exhale, reaching away, lengthening out through the toes. And then drawing the knees back in again on an inhale. Let's do 2 more of these. Slow extension. Press your back to the floor to engage the core. Draw the knees in also to act as an anchor point. One last time here. Extension of both legs. And then draw the knees in. Let's pause here. Let's go ahead and take the head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. Now look down towards your navel to keep the back of your neck long. And now take the hands behind your head by interlacing the fingers. Elbows, they love to pull forward here. We want to do the exact opposite, actively pulling them back. Keeps the chest open, also makes it more challenging for our core because now we're not really relying on our arms to keep our head up, right? We're using our core strength. Breath in here. Extend the legs away again. Now draw knees towards forehead as you draw the knees back in towards body. Extend away, exhale. 2 more of these. Powerful breath out. Good. Let's draw the knees back in. Exhale, extend the legs away, and then hold that extension, and you can adjust right higher or lower if needed. Release the hands, arms lifted, but down at your side to a hover. Stiffen out the arms, so feel the fingertips reach towards the front of your mat. Start to pump the arms, but nothing else is moving, right? So core for stabilization. Let's breathe in for 4 counts, and breathe out for 4. Breathe in. Good. Breathe out. So your head can come down here as well, right? If you're feeling any strain in neck and shoulders, breathe in, breathe out. We'll do this 4 more times. Breathe in. Legs also can come to tabletop. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. 2 more times. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Recovery. Let everything draw in. Let everything release. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Move. Right? Just balance yourself between effort and ease in the body. Okay. Wonderful. Let's go into my favorite exercise. Hopefully becomes one of yours too, the roll up, right? So let's extend those legs out long. And then finding mountain pose here, which is that yogic posture. Generally it's standing, but this time we want to find all that energy just lying on our back. So with your legs out long, you're going to push the heels away from your body. Your toes are lifted to sky. If your feet are splayed outward, you're going to bring the inner edges of your feet into parallel. So you're going to feel the thighs kind of roll and hug into midline. Okay, energy to center. Arms stretch up and overhead to the back of your mat. You want your hands, palms facing each other, hands a little bit wider than shoulder width to again open across your chest. Physically slide your shoulder blades down your back. Take the middle of your spine, press it to the floor. Feel the ribs sealing in, right? Core is firming just to hold this position, right? Here's a starting point for your roll up. Take an inhale, start your lift. Head, neck, and shoulders begin to peel up. On your exhale, powerfully breathe out to come all the way up to seated. Lift your heart up high. Good posture here. Then a nice slow fold forward over your legs. Keep the flex in your feet. Arms are lifted, still elevated parallel to legs, and head falls all the way through. Lifting up on your next inhale. Tucking your tailbone, rounding down slow on the exhale. Push out through those heels and then reconnect. Never let the legs soften. Beginning again, start lifting, breathing in, exhale, slowly peel it up. So feel your abdominals working to get that stack of spine. Then that fold. When you're folded here, physically plug those shoulders back into their sockets. Come up tall, breath in, restack that spine. And then as you're rounding down, feeling the core, the abs scooping out, chin neutral, right? Not diving into the chest. We're going to do 2 more of these. Start it, breath in, head start. Push the breath out as soon as you feel there's a challenge physically in the body. Legs are your anchor, and then fold. Coming up tall with an inhale. You want to feel those arms try to pull towards the back as you come down to the floor. Last one here. Inhale, the lift starts. Push that breath out. Lift that heart high, and then gently fold forward. This time, let's sit tall on our inhale. Let's stay seated here, yeah? Exhale, let the arms just float down at your sides. Wonderful. Let's go ahead from here. Cross the legs, take the hands down in front of us, and let's transition to tabletop, right? So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Hands and knees, you want your fingers spread really wide, and then lightly grip the ground with your fingertips. That's going to really help to support your wrists in this space. Excuse me. You want your knees to be hip width apart and directly underneath the hips themselves. Not looking straight down, rather looking slightly forward to keep the spine really long, to keep the body stretched out long. Yeah. And then notice here if you're, then I'll do this side profile. Notice if you're sinking into your body, right? We don't want this. This is kind of like a inactive position. We want to be active here. So with hands spread, push into the ground, press away from the earth, right? Rise and lift out of the shoulders and pull your lower belly in and up to release that big sway in the lower back. If your kind of booty is lifted to the sky, we want to do the opposite there. And then soften the elbows. Take a breath in. As you exhale, extend right arm forward and left leg back. So we're just working a bit on balance, stability, and core work. Take a breath in here for the hold, and then release the hand and knee back to the floor. Exhale. Breath in again, preparing. Exhale now, left arm forward, right leg back. Push out through heel and reach out through fingertips. Belly in and up. Take a breath in. Exhale, release, hand, release, knee. So the idea here is when we land back in tabletop, we want to remain centered in our weight. We don't want to be shifting back to that spot. Take a breath in. Exhale again, right arm forward, left leg back. So send the heart forward. Feel the body weight stretch to the front of your workspace here. Breathe it in, hold it out, and then exhale, let it release. We'll do that once more. Inhale. Exhale, left arm forward, right leg back. So hips are leveled. Belly is in. Take an inhale. Hold it. Breathe it. Exhale. Hand and knee back to floor. Wonderful. Here, widen your knees and let your big toes touch. Start sitting back to your heels, walking forward with your hands to the front of your mat. We're landing in child's pose. So this is a grounding posture, a place you can come to at any point in time during your practice if you're just wanting a pause, a reset, or just a moment to be with yourself. While this is a grounding resting posture, we're going to make it active here. So with your fingers still spread wide, always, right? Hands always at least shoulder width distance apart, even maybe slightly wider again, just so the chest doesn't cave in. Press the hands down on the floor. Feel the forearms begin to lift off the ground, right? Energy. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Space. Feel the belly try to pull up and away from the legs. Activation. Good. From your child's pose, begin to tuck your toes under and start lifting into a downward facing dog. So your hips are going to press high towards the sky. As the hips lift up, the chest pushes back towards your thighs. Maybe there's still a little bend in your knees. Like I have really tight hamstrings, so sometimes with the legs super straight, it rounds my lower back. So if I bend my knees, my sit bones can lift up really high, and then I get all that length in my spine. Okay, heels, right? Mine right now are really lifted high over the balls of my feet. Can you anchor them down even though they may not touch the floor? Right, energy downward. And then feel the ribs seal. So sometimes we overarch the back here in our down dog. Seal the ribs in and feel that core firming in this space. With your next inhale, you're going to look forward to the front of your mat. As you exhale, bring your feet to your hands, as many or as little a step as you'd like to take, coming into a forward fold. Halfway lifting on an inhale, so shoulders are going to drop just to shoulder level. Flatten the back. So imagine a lemon between your shoulder blades, hugging to hold. Exhale, melt and fold back over your legs. A couple more times here. Breathing in, halfway lifting, heart stretches to the front, sits bones push to the back. Lemon between shoulder blades. Open that chest. Fold, exhale, back over the legs. Once more here, breathing in, halfway lifting. Reach out through the crown of your head, not your chin. Exhale, fold, let it go. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Ground your feet and rise. I'm just going to pop to kneeling so you can see me. Arms lift to the sky. Interlace the fingers. Hands come behind the head. Remember, elbows wide here. On an inhale, stretch over to your right side. And then firm up the belly. Exhale, slowly pull it back up. So again, not using momentum here. Tip it over to the left side as you breathe in. Side body stretch. And then firm up that belly. Exhale, slowly pull it back to center. Good. On an inhale, release the hands and extend the arms back up overhead. Exhale, dive forward back over the legs. All right, we're coming back to that full body fold. Halfway lifting on an inhale. Plank position as you exhale. Take the hands down and step or jump back to structure, right? So the whole body is working here. Heels are propped over the balls of the feet. Legs hug in, glutes squeeze, belly in and up. Space between the shoulder blades, right? Don't fall in it, puff out of it instead. Soften the elbows, look slightly forward. Good, take one more deep breath in here in our plank position. Lower down slowly to the ground as you exhale. Untuck the toes, and then prop yourself up onto your forearms from here. So we're finding Sphinx pose. So elbows should be right underneath your shoulders and forearms parallel with one another. Palms pressed down, hands again, fingers spread wide, hands shoulder width apart. So sometimes we tend to fall right into our arms. Push off the ground with your arm strength. Lift your heart to the sky. Shoulder blades should slide down your back. Now try to pull your belly in and up away from the floor without squeezing your glutes. Tricky. It can be. Either a flex foot or pointed toe, whichever you prefer, just as long as that leg is energized. Heel kicks. Single leg kicks. So starting with your right leg on an inhale, you're going to click your right heel in towards your right glute twice. Click, click. Lengthen back with that leg as you exhale. Left leg is going to click in, heel to glute, click, click. Lengthen back. Again, right leg, click, click. We're activating the hamstring when we do that. Release and lengthen behind you. Left leg, click, click, heel towards glute. And release. Now using your core for stabilization so we're not rocking our bodies when we pump that leg in. Everything should be a statue except for that one leg moving. We'll do one more to the right. Click, click. release. Left leg, click it in. Good, lengthen back. Pause here. Good, let's start to melt our heart to the mat. And as we do, slide the hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Downward facing dog. Pressing up with the hips. Back with the chest towards thighs. Heels rooting towards the earth. Ribs sealing in towards spine. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Good. Take your right leg on an inhale, lift it behind you. And then as you exhale, swing the leg through, step up towards your right thumb or coming into low lunge, right? So back heel pops lifted over the ball of the foot, hips drawing up to shoulder level, flatten and lengthen the spine and open the chest. Take your left hand, ground it down just inside the right foot. Extend the right arm forward as if shaking the hand, and then lift that right arm up to the sky. We'll take just a simple twist open. Now notice if you'd fallen down into that left arm, we're going to push out of it, find this kind of rising and floating upward, but hug your right knee in so it tracks back over the ankle. Take a deep breath in here, hug the legs to midline. Exhale, can that left hand, lift off the ground just a little bit, and then release the hand back down to the floor. So this is leg strength, core strength. Exhale, just that left hand, float it, and then ground it back down again on an inhale. This is kind of tough, right? Last one here. Exhale, left hand comes up. Can we hold this space? 4, 3, keep breathing. 2, keep rolling open. 1, good. And then left hand down, right hand down, frame the front foot. Good. Take a step up, come into forward fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Share position now on the exhale. So bend your knees deeply, push your hips to the back as you lift your heart to the sky. Arms can extend out in front of you, framing your ears, or they can be extended directly out in line with shoulders, or hands can be at heart center. Right? We want to feel the lift of the heart so that we're not folded deeply over the legs. When our heart is high, that will automatically tell the core to firm and tighten in, okay? Let's stay in our chair position, but let's pulse it downward here. Down, booty towards floor, but also back at the same time. Good. 5, keep digging those heels in. 4, steady breath. 3, heart lifted. Good. 2, belly in. 1, good. And then release, straighten the legs, fold, melt, go. Halfway lift on an inhale. Release again. Exhale. Come all the way to standing on an inhale. Ground the feet and rise. Lift. Arms to sky here. Come back to kneeling just to show. Interlace fingers. Exhale. Hands behind your head. Stretch to your right side on an inhale. Firm that belly. Exhale. Find lift. Stretch to the left side as you breathe it in. Exhale, belly in. Find lift. Good. Stay here. Inhale, release the hands. Extend the arms high. Dive, fold over the legs. Exhale, you're back into that forward fold, right? Halfway lift on an inhale. Plank position on the exhale. Ground the hands, step, or again, jump back to structure. Now here, let's take the feet out to a wide stance. It's going to help support us. We're going to move into some shoulder taps. So I'm going to do this forward. Take your right hand, tap it up to your left shoulder, and then release. And then left hand up to right shoulder, and release. Steady breathing here, whichever works best for you. So the idea is we don't want our hips to seesaw side to side or sweep from side to side. So you're using your core strength for stabilization. We're working a lot of the arms and shoulders. Breath. 2 taps more to each side. Go 1 more each. Whew. It's working me. All right, we land back in our plank. Draw the heart forward with your next inhale. Lower to the ground, slow on the exhale. When you get here, untuck the toes. Cross one arm over the other like genie arms. Rest your forehead onto your forearms. Feet are slightly wider than shoulder width. Press your hips to the ground as you breathe in. Squeeze your glutes, just your legs off the ground. And then release the legs down on an inhale. So we're working glute and lower back strengthening. Exhale, hips down, thighs up. Stretch back with those toes. Good, release it back down on an inhale. Let's do 2 more of these. Exhale, find lift. Good, release it back down. One last time, let's lift those thighs up. Let's hold that lift, externally rotate your legs so the heels angle in towards each other. With your thighs still lifted, can you try to clap your heels together? Yes, 5, 4, steady breathing, 3, 2, 1. Let the legs come back down. Wonderful. Uncross the arms, like your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Press up. Push back. Root down. And seal in. Wonderful. Just take a moment, right, to breathe here, to reconnect here. And we go to the other side. Yeah, I'm sweating already, geez. Left arm on an inhale lifts behind you. And then on your exhale, step up and through to your left thumb. We want to have train track footing, right? Not tightrope footing. So here we are in our low lunge. It's active though. It feels real good to sink down. I get it, totally. But this is as if you want to feel like you're about to take off for a track race. There's a lot of power in that back leg. Punch it to sky. Spine should be really long. Heart stretched forward. Right? For the reason being, we want to get this active for our next move. Let's take the right hand, step it directly close in towards the inside of your left foot, and then extend the left arm out in front of you. Then take that left arm and sweep it up to the sky, stack over the shoulder. Spread your fingers here. You can't see mine, but spread the fingers wide and reach to the sky. Tense the fingers of your grounded hand, push away from the ground. That's already going to help you. Firm in that belly. Here we go. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, right hand comes off the ground just a little bit. And then release it down, right? Don't drop back down. Control this. Again, exhale, belly firm, legs strong, lift. And then let that right hand come back down gently. Last one here. Let's find the lift, but then let's hold it. Yeah, for 3, almost there. Hug those legs in. 2, back, heel lifted. 1, good. Right hand down, left hand down. We frame the front foot. Take a step up, come into your forward fold. Halfway lift on an inhale. Release, let it go all the way down, exhale. Inhale, we're coming all the way to standing, ground down, rise up, arms to sky. Exhale the arms at our side. So you can't see the top half of me, that's totally cool. We really want to focus on the lower half here. So let's take the feet and come into just a small straddle. So if you do have a mat or towel, just to the outer edges of, okay? If you don't have that, it's going to be outside your shoulder range. Then we're going to externally, look how I breath in. That's fine, I got to laugh at it, sorry. Externally rotate both feet, so heels angle in, toes point out. Then with the upper half of your body, reach your arms to the sky, spread out those fingers. So we're coming into goddess squat. It's going to work the glutes, inner thighs, and our upper back. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bend your elbows and your knees and sink into a goddess squat. So we don't want to be folded forward here. We want to be nice and upright, vertical in the torso. Then straighten the legs and extend the arms. Squeeze the glutes here. Pinch as if you had a penny you're holding on to. And again, goddess squat, bending the knees, gliding them over toes, elbows bend, they pull down to shoulder level. Those fingers, once again, spread, right? Hug between shoulder blades. Straighten the legs, lift the arms, squeeze the glutes. 2 more of these. Exhale, come into your goddess squat. Chest open, heart high. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms, squeeze that penny, hold it tight. Once more, exhale into your goddess squat. Stay here. Take the right heel, lift it up over the ball of the foot. And then let the heel release. Left heel pops up. Good, and then release. Right heel again is going to lift. We're going to hold that there. Left heel lifts to meet it. Ooh. Right heel down. Left heel down, yeah. Left heel then starts it, lift it. Then the right heel joins. Ooh. Left heel down, right heel down. We're still vertical, yes? Now both heels come up at the same time. Ooh, balls of feet, release. A lot of leg here. Woo-hoo. Heels up, hold. Now pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Both heels come down, both legs straighten, arms to sky. Lower the arms at your side. Heel toe the feet back into about hip width distance apart. Yep, officially, definitely, totally sweating on my end. Lift the arms up on a breath in. Dive and fold, exhale over the legs. Halfway lift on an inhale. Plank position on the exhale. Here we are. Okay, let's take the feet out wide again. This is called around the world. Kind of challenging. We use our core for balance and stability. Start with your right arm. Take a breath in. As you exhale, try to extend it out in front of you without the hips shifting much. And then release the hand down. Move to the right leg. Lift it back behind you. Send your heart forward as you do. Release the foot back down. Left leg, lift it. Squeeze that glute. Send heart forward. Release the foot down. The hardest ones, right arm, exhale, extend it out, extend it out, extend it out. Yes, hand down, whew. Body down, untuck the toes. Good, extend your arms out long in front of you, palms face down. Hips press in. Take an inhale, lift everything off the ground. Arms, head, heart, and legs. And then let it release. Again, inhale, arms, head, heart, legs. Come up, back body strengthening. Exhale, bring it back down. With this last one, lift arms, head, heart, and legs, and hold the lift, right? Not holding your breath. Breathe steadily, swimming here, paddling up and down with arms and legs. Head is steady, torso steady. 5, 4, 3, heart up, 2, 1, and release. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. Press back into a child's pose. Let the arms come at your sides so you can release the shoulders. Take a moment to breathe into your back body. So inhale, let it rise and fill up. And then exhale, dump it all out. Do that a couple more times. Breath in, fill up back body. Exhale, dump it out, let it go. One more time, deep breath in. And then on your exhale, begin to roll yourself up to a seated position. We're going to move into some side body work next. So we're going to focus on strengthening outer hips, inner thighs, and the waistline obliques. So let's take a moment and bring our bodies onto our mat, lying on our left side, okay? So right at the center of your workspace here, you're going to prop your head up with your left hand just to help support, and then looking down, right? Making sure the legs aren't too far forward or far back, right? Right in line, and your hips are stacked. Let's take the right hand onto our hips. Sorry, I'm mirroring, so I'll probably say screw up my left and right a few times. So patience, sorry, thank you. Okay, so right hand on hip, right? So we want to rely on our core strength for a balance, not the hand on the floor in front to do the work. And then flex both feet. Top leg, right leg, or right leg. Shoosh. We're going to lift it slightly. Feel the leg kind of roll in just a tad, and then look forward. With this lifted leg, hover to start, right? On your exhale, you're just going to lift the leg up a little bit higher. So we're using that outer hip strength to do the work of the lift, and then bring the leg back to hover again. Exhale, as the leg comes up, we're firming in that belly with our breath, and then release back to hover. We're doing just 4 more of these. 4. Good. Back to hover. 3 more. Find lift. And then that hover. 2 more. Lift. Push out through that heel. Yeah. Hover. Make sure all your toes are pointed forward. Last one. We're lifting up that leg. This time only taking the leg down halfway, so the legs themselves are about shoulder width distance apart. Let's point the toes now and firm that leg up. Begin to draw some very slow, very small, controlled circles with just that top leg. Everything else steady like a statue, so core work needed a little bit more to help stabilize. 3, 2, 1. Let's pause and then reverse direction. Inhale, exhale. 4, 5, Take your time. 4, 3, 2, shoulders steady. 1, pause. Let's flex the foot again. Let's pulse it up. Emphasize this lift of, not the drop of the movement. Ooh, good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the leg come all the way down. Ooh. Bend that right knee front and forward on your mat. And if you'd like to, just kind of tap out your hip using either a soft fist or maybe the heel of your hand. Right? It doesn't take a whole lot of those to really get that muscle fired up. So this is a nice way to just kind of wring it out in a way, right? What we've just worked. All right. Let's move into the bottom leg next. Let's take the right foot, place it behind the left leg, bending the right knee, pointing to the sky. So now your hips are no longer stacked. Totally fine, right? Hand back on hip. Take your bottom leg and pull it forward a little bit so it's angled more away from body. Flex the foot and hover the leg to begin. We want our heel to lead this movement. The more the foot flexes, the more inner thigh activation there will be. This is also lower abdominal work. Let's take an exhale, lift the bottom leg up rather, and then back to hover. Again, find lift. Good, hover. 4 more of these. Think heel kissing the sky. Good, back to hover. Everything else stabilize. 3 more, lift. Back to hover, and we're doing 2 more of these. Fine, lift. Good, hover. This last one, we're going to lift it. We're only going to take it halfway back down. Let's take very slow pulses upward. Good, 5. Steady breath. 4. Good, 3. Keep pumping to sky. 2. Good, 1. And then lift that leg as high as you can. Now hold that space. 4, 5. 4, a little bit higher. Good. 3, 2, a little bit more. Ooh, 1. Good. Slowly take that all the way down. Good. Let's restack the body to a straight line again. Now this time lower all the way down onto that left arm. Right arm to the sky. Spread fingers, stack right over the shoulder. Bottom arm is relaxed. Legs are squeezed in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lift your head, lift both legs up. So we're cinching into that right side body. Then release back down to the mat, inhaling. Exhale. So oblique strength to lift the head, lift the legs. That's why it's not huge, right? Come back down. We're doing 4 more of these. 4. Just make sure that top arm isn't sweeping down, right? Keep it stacked. Release. 3 more, legs are hugging in. That's going to help balance you out. Release. 2 more of these. Exhale, find lift. Good. Release it. Last one, lift the head, lift the legs. Hold that there. Can the bottom arm come up? This is when you're going to become really wobbly, and that's okay. 3, keep lifting up. 2, 1, and let it all come down. Wonderful. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move to the other side. So however it's easiest for you to sweep around, transferring to your left side, right? Propped up with our hand to hold the head, straight line, stacked hips, flexed feet, left hand on our hip, core for balance. Top leg is lifted slightly to start. And notice, right, you couldn't see quite on the other side, but we don't want our toes to point to sky. We want them pointed forward, so therefore the leg rolls in, therefore the lift isn't that huge, but it really hones in on that outer hip muscle, okay? Looking forward on the exhale, that top leg comes up, and then come back to hover. Push through heel, lift, and firm that belly. Each time you breathe out, right? Back to hover. 4 more of these. 4. Good, back to hover. 3 more, fine, lift. Good. Back to hover 2 more times. Fine. Lift. Good. To the hover. Once more, find the lift of that left leg. Take it only down halfway and point your toes. Firm that leg up. Draw some very controlled circles. So isolate this movement. Steady breathing here. Firmed belly here throughout the entire time. Good. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Let's reverse it. Inhale, exhale. So this concept of it's more important what's not moving in your body than what is, right, for this. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Flex your foot again. Little pulses upward towards sky. Good. Emphasize, remember, lift, not drop for 5, 4, 3. Good. 2, 1. Let it come down slow. Good. Bend the knee front and forward. Maybe give yourself a little tap out of that hip. Yeah, I can feel the burn right away. All right. We're going to move to our bottom leg, our right leg. So left foot behind the right leg, the knee points to sky. Right leg, you're going to slide it, forward a little bit to give your body just more room to move. Flex the bottom foot really firmly, hand back to hip, lower abs, inner thigh. Here we go on the exhale, lifting the leg up. Bring it back to hover. Again, find lift, lower belly pulls in firm, and then back to hover. We're doing 4 more of these. 4. Good, back to hover. 3 more, lift. Good, to hover. Twice more, we're gonna find lift. Good, to hover. This last one, lift it. Take it only down halfway, slow. Pulses up. Good. 5, heel first. 4, breathing. 3, 2, keep it steady. 1, good, and lift leg high, hold the space. 5, a little bit higher, good. 4, 3, a little bit more. 2, maybe a little more. 1, good, take it down. Restack the body, extend that right arm down, rest it, left arm to sky, stack it. Hug legs, firm belly. Exhale next, head and legs come up, cinching in the left side here. Release. Again, exhale. So we're not using our bottom arm to help us to come up. Strictly core strength. 4 more. 4. Release. Good. 3 more. Lift. Keep that top arm steady. Release and stacked. 2 more. Lift. Good. Release. This last one, head comes up, legs come up, we stay lifted. Now, bottom arm, see if you can lift it. Whoa, see already, right? Wobbly, but still using core. 4, 3, 2, keep it up. 1, good, let it all come down. Wonderful. Let's go ahead from here. Press up to seated. We get a little stretch here. So at seated, take the soles of your feet together. Hold the ankles. That's going to help you to sit up really tall here, right? Stacked spine. Keeping your spine long, hinging forward at your hips. From here, melting forward slowly. Start low at tailbone. Begin rounding the lower back, then your middle back, then the upper back, then finally the head gently folds forward. You'll feel this in the inner thighs, the outer hips, and well across the very lower back in that sacral region of spine. Okay, let's take one more big breath in here. Exhale to slowly roll yourself back up to a stacked position. From here, let's cross the legs. Take our arms down at our side. Let's take the right arm and extend it up to the sky. Reach, reach, reach high. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, stretch it up and over to your left side. Keeping that right sit bone glued to the ground, giving you an anchor to give you a nice deep side body stretch here. And breathe into that space. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Maybe finding an external rotation towards the sky with your heart. Good. Take one more big breath in. Firm in that belly and lift and stack up slowly. Let that right arm release back down. Left arm then will move to breathe it in, reach it up, anchor down, and then stretch to your right side as you breathe out. Using that right hand to gently anchor to the floor, but also try to push you away all at the same time. If it's available to you, maybe that top arm starts to pull back a bit and you start to roll open with your heart to sky. Big inhales. Big exhales. Good. Take one more big breath in here. Firm in that belly. Exhale. Find your lift. Let the arm float down. So here with our arms at our sides, turn the palms to face up. If you feel more comfortable resting your hands on your lap, certainly feel free to do that as well. We're going to land here and end here in class, but we're going to take a few moments to get ourselves situated. So feeling your sits bones ground down. And then making sure your shoulders are stacked right above the hips. Sometimes we lean too far forward or we're pulling ourselves back. So stack shoulders. And then again, that lemon, just softly hug it behind you. Keeps the chest open. String at the crown of your head, an imaginary one, right? Pulling you upward towards sky. Seal the ribs in to keep that core intact. And again, arms either at your side or hands on your lap, but palms faced up. Close the eyes here softly. Slightly part your teeth to unhinge your jaw. Start to come back to your breath again. Focusing on the inhales and the exhales. Feel once again the way in which it moves and travels in and out of the body. Maybe just notice how the body feels here. Is it different from then when you had started class? Are there any sensations of warmth, of pulsation, of twitching, of tingling? Just noticing the little nuances in your body. To be able to be here with stillness with yourself. Finding that the mind does love to wander here. I love to call the mind a hamster wheel, kind of gets in that spinning motion. Sometimes it doesn't stop. So how can we quiet that down? We can quiet that down through anchoring through our breath. Bring the focus back to, or any sound that's around you. We come back to the present time. We connect to ourselves. And then with your eyes still closed and no need to rush into the space, begin to slowly take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, and then feel that connection to yourself. The beating of the heart, the movement of belly due to your breath. And in this space of connection, take a moment and also thank yourself that you carved time out of your day to be here, to show up, to be present, and to give your mind, body, and soul this opportunity of movement, of breath, of stretching, of strengthening, but really most importantly, that you just showed up to yourself alone, that you experienced your body and its movement, and you connected to yourself as a whole. With eyes still closed, begin to gently lower both arms back at your side. With your next inhale, reach the arms out to the side, lift them up to the sky, connect the palms together. Exhale, bring your hands both into heart space, heart center. We'll do that again. Inhale, reaching out, reaching up, gather that energy, and then exhale, bring that energy to the self, right to center of heart. Once more, breath in, gather, reach, collect. And then exhale, pull it into your space, lower chin to chest, bow head to heart, heart to head. In these times that can be very unsettling and unsure of what's to happen next, it's time that we pause, slow down, and reconnect to ourselves, right? To learn about ourselves, strengthen our inner self to get through these tough times and find silver linings along the way. So thank you guys very much for maybe this being your silver lining of the day. It certainly was part of mine. So I appreciate you visiting, you signing on, and hope to see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Here's to yet another new week. Namaste.